My dear friend, I urge you to listen closely to the message that God has for you today. It is a message of love, grace, and hope, a gentle whisper that speaks to your heart even when you are not sure where to turn. Even if you feel uncertain about the road you are on, rest assured that there is a divine plan shaping your path. You may not realize it now, but soon you will look back and see how all the pieces fit together in perfect harmony. In this sacred moment, I invite you to open your heart and mind to the magnificent ways in which God's love can change everything. Whenever you feel weighed down by doubt or fear, remember that His presence stands ready to offer comfort. There is no burden too heavy and no valley too low for God to reach you with His everlasting embrace. Allow yourself to reflect on God's love in your own life. Perhaps you recall a small but meaningful sign of grace. Or maybe you remember a dramatic moment when you felt a powerful presence leading you out of darkness. In every part of your life, there are threads of hope and mercy woven together. Each blessing, each divine encounter, and each gentle nudge toward goodness is a reflection of God's tender care. Even if you have forgotten moments of guidance, they continue to shape who you are and what you become. Hold on to these memories and let them remind you that there is more to your journey than what you see at first glance. When you feel discouraged, think about the countless blessings that have found their way into your life, often when you least expected them. Maybe it was a friend who reached out just when you needed support, or a sudden solution to a problem that felt unsolvable. Consider the times you received strength for another day, even when you thought you could not go on. Recall the beautiful sunrises that painted hope on your mornings. Remember that each breath you take is itself a gift from a compassionate Creator. These moments of grace are woven into your life so that you might never forget the gentle, unending love that sustains you. God's love does not come with conditions or limits. It is not offered only to those who feel worthy or perfect. Instead, His grace extends to every person and calls each of us to step forward with faith. There is a divine plan, carefully designed from the beginning, that calls every heart toward unity and peace. You may not fully grasp it now, but know that you are part of something far greater than you can imagine. God's timing, though mysterious, always proves perfect in the end. What you perceive as delays or detours are often the very steps that prepare your heart for the blessing that awaits you. Some days, it might seem like you walk alone, facing challenges that test your patience and resolve. You might wonder why certain trials have found their way to your doorstep. Yet even in your darkest moments, God's presence accompanies you, guiding you with a love that cannot be dimmed. Sometimes, in the quiet hours of the night, you might sense a comforting peace, a reminder that there is no place God cannot reach. This reassurance may come in a soft whisper or a sudden burst of clarity. When it arrives, let it wash over you with its promise that no matter how deep the valley, you are never truly by yourself. Open your heart to the infinite ways in which God's goodness works. You may hear stories of lives transformed by mercy, see healing in places once broken, and witness forgiveness where bitterness once lingered. These are not simply random acts. They are reflections of a living and active love that works miracles daily. If you ever doubt that such wonders can happen for you, remember that every testimony of God's grace was once a person in need. In the same way, your current struggles might one day be your story of triumph and breakthrough, shining a light for others to see. You have the chance to embrace these miracles, not merely as an observer, but as an active participant in what God is doing in the world. Your life has a purpose that goes beyond what you might think. There is a calling woven into your very being, inviting you to shine God's light in the darkness around you. Perhaps you have felt a stirring in your heart, a quiet urgency that you were made for something more. In those moments, remember that God sees your potential and believes in you, even when you struggle to believe in yourself. Take courage in knowing that each small act of kindness and faith contributes to the tapestry of God's magnificent plan. As you reflect on this message, do not keep it locked away. Let it inspire you to share the hope you have found. The goodness and grace of God are not meant to be hidden. They are meant to ripple outward, touching every life they encounter. Whether you speak words of encouragement to a friend in despair or simply offer a gentle smile to someone who feels invisible, you become a vessel for divine love. Each time you extend compassion or forgiveness, you become part of God's work in the world, showing what is possible when you surrender to grace. In choosing to pass along the message of God's goodness, you amplify the light that shines in your own life. As you speak words of hope, your heart is also reminded of the promises that have carried you through hardships. Each time you share your testimony or your experiences, you renew your own faith, letting gratitude grow in the places where fear once took hold. Do not underestimate the power of a single heartfelt prayer or a few comforting words. Often, the most significant shifts in a person's life begin with an act of kindness that seems small in the moment. This divine message is not about seeking personal glory, but about opening yourself to the fullness of God's love. When you commit to living with grace and gratitude, you tap into a joy that the world cannot take away. Every step forward in faith draws you closer to a deeper understanding of why you are here. Perhaps the gifts within you will lead you to serve those in need, or maybe you will find that your calling is to encourage those who struggle. Whatever your path may be, it is woven with purpose, guided by the same love that formed the stars in the sky. When God's plan for your life intersects with your willingness to follow, miracles become possible. You start to notice hope in unexpected places. A closed door might lead to a window of opportunity. A delay that felt frustrating can transform into perfect timing that brings forth blessings more wonderful than you imagined. It is in these moments that you realize that the wait was never in vain. You may not realize it fully now, but soon, the wisdom of God's perfect plan will reveal itself. Trust that the Creator who breathed life into you remains mindful of every beat of your heart. As you grow in faith, let go of the worry that tries to steal your peace. The world may swirl with noise and trouble, but there is a stillness in God's presence that invites you to rest. When challenges arise, lean into prayer, remembering that you have a direct line to a loving Father. Each time you pause to seek guidance, you open yourself to answers that might have been hidden by the clamor of life's demands. This stillness nourishes your spirit, giving you clarity when all around you seems uncertain. In quiet moments of trust, divine truth becomes a lamp to your feet. Wherever you stand on your spiritual journey, know that God's love is relentless. It pursues you through every valley and over every mountaintop. If you have found yourself doubting or drifting, there is always a path back to grace. The storms of life may have battered your faith, but hope remains steadfast. Even if you feel unworthy or too weary to continue, God's arms are ever ready to catch you when you fall. Each new dawn offers another chance to draw closer to the source of all love. You are never beyond the reach of mercy and never beyond the promise of redemption. What you have seen and heard through this message is a small echo of a much larger symphony of love. If your heart feels warmed or stirred, take that as an invitation to keep going. Let these words sink into your spirit and turn them into action. It might be a simple decision to pray more often or a commitment to treat others with deeper compassion. It might be a willingness to forgive or a renewed desire to find a church community where your faith can flourish. Embrace the nudge to move forward, no matter how small your first step might feel. God's love and grace continue to guide you, now and always, and every new day offers a fresh opportunity to experience His goodness. When you open your eyes to His mercy, you begin to see the fingerprints of the divine in every aspect of your life. You see it in the kindness of strangers, in the support of loved ones, and even in moments of silence that fill you with peace. The more you look, the more you will find reasons to praise, reasons to trust, and reasons to hope. If your heart resonates with these words, I encourage you to share them. When you speak about God's love, you never know who might be listening or how desperately they might need to hear hope. Sometimes, a hurting soul can be lifted by a single reminder that they are treasured and not alone. By offering comfort, you become an instrument in God's hands, joining in the beautiful work of healing and restoration. It might feel like a small gesture, but in the divine economy, every act of love is monumental. May God bless you on your journey of faith and discovery. You do not walk this path by accident, and every mile you cover has its purpose. If you ever feel unsure or afraid, remember that there is power in prayer. Ask for guidance and trust that the answers will come in the right way at the right time. Even in seasons of waiting, God is busy shaping your heart and preparing you for the blessings ahead. Every prayer whispered from a sincere heart resonates with the heavens, carrying a promise that you are heard, seen, and valued. In the fullness of time, the seeds of faith you plant now will bear fruit in ways you might never have imagined. God's plan is timeless, touching past, present, and future, and drawing all things together for the good of those who love Him. Let your mind dwell on this promise, holding on to it when doubts arise. Speak words of gratitude for blessings already given, and trust that more are coming. In your quiet moments, when you reflect on the path before you, let hope fill the spaces where fear used to hide. Type Amen to claim this message of love, grace, and hope. In doing so, you open your heart to a world of limitless possibilities, affirming that you accept the divine hand stretched out toward you. Each time you reaffirm your faith, you grow stronger in spirit. Let your life be a testament to the wondrous works of a God who never fails to provide. In sharing your faith journey, you not only step into God's plan more fully, but also encourage others to walk with you. Remember, the joy of the journey is multiplied when it is shared. Friend, as you go forth, let the spirit of this message dwell in you. May it remind you that in every season and in every circumstance, God's love is unwavering. There will be times when your faith is tested, but know that these trials can serve as stepping stones leading you closer to the heart of God. Even when the road twists and turns, look to your inner compass of prayer and trust, for it will keep you anchored in the eternal promise that you are never forsaken. Finally, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to our channel, allowing your support to help spread messages of love, grace, and hope to others who may need it. This simple act can be a small but meaningful way to participate in God's work, as every share can touch a life and ignite a spark of faith. Thank you for joining us in this journey, and may God's unending grace and compassion be with you every step you take. In every new sunrise and in every gentle breeze, may you sense the loving presence that watches over you. Amen.